There we go. Welcome back to Life at Five from my kitchen to yours, or wherever you currently are enjoying your beautiful afternoon. So, in today's session, I would like to explore the benefits of the Varoma together with you. The Varoma is this UFO-shaped unit that came with your Thermomix, and I don't know whether you're currently using it or not. If not, then we need to have a chat because that's a complete waste if you're not using it. Yes, you do have a Varoma if you do have a Thermomix because it comes with your Thermomix. I know sometimes people tend to put it away for now. Yes, that's the one thing. I'm going to use that later when I know how my Thermomix works, and then they tend to forget it, and we definitely need to change it. It's time to dust up your Varoma, and I hope with my tips and tricks today you will fall in love with it and see the potential it has. All right, let's start from the beginning. So first and foremost, that is your steaming unit. And that usually just sits there on top of your mixing bowl lid instead of the measuring cup. So you need to take that one out and then just pop the Varoma on top. It sits there. You can sit in any position that you like. It doesn't lock in. That's exactly how it should be. Okay, when we're using the Varoma, there is a couple of things we need to be mindful of. First of all, when you do steam your food, that is the highest temperature settings that you can manually choose. It's about 122 degrees, and what will happen is the bowl will create an extra large amount of steam. And what this means is that liquid bubbles, they come up all the way, and they will also enter your Varoma, so all the way up here. So what you should never do is, whilst the Varoma is sitting still cooking, you should never take away the Varoma, okay? Because you will have to clean your kitchen afterwards, and that's not what we want. We want our life to be easier, not harder. So wait until the Varoma setting cooking has finished, or press the emergency stop, which is the dial, and wait until the arms open, and then you can take the unit away. So how to take the Varoma off? So obviously the whole unit is hot, including the lid. So when you're opening, or when you want to check the food whilst you're cooking, or during, or once it's finished with the cooking, so never do this. Whoops. Okay, the steam will go straight into your face and you get a facial. That's not really something you want to explore. All right, so very important is always open up the lid away from you so the steam can escape to the other way, and let the water drip back into the bowl. What I usually do is I grab a tea towel, I open up the lid away from me, and then I use my lid, and because it's hot, that's why I pop it on my tea towel here, and then transfer the whole unit and use my Varoma lid as a saucer, okay? And then you can put it safely aside. All right, so that's that. With your steamer, so obviously we have the base, we do have a tray, and we do have a lid. So it comes into three parts. You don't have to use the tray, only depending on what you're making. And what you want to do when you do the steaming, you want to make sure that not all the holes are obstructed. So you always want to make sure there's a little bit, at least a little bit room left where the steam can actually come through. So what you could do is just place your food around the outside and leave a little gap there. Or when you fill it all, just with your spatula, make a little well and make sure there's a little bit of hole in the middle. Sometimes that's not possible. For example, when you want to steam a whole chicken or so, then we recommend that you elevate your food. And there's a couple of ways you can elevate your food so it doesn't block the holes in there. First of all, I've got a couple of tips here for you. First of all, that's the easiest. You can go to the mix shop and buy one of these trivets, and they just go in here. They completely fit in here. And you can see you have about a centimeter or so a gap. So now you can pop everything and can fill it up because there's still enough room for the steam to come through. Okay, so that's one option, the trivet. Another option is, if you don't want to buy anything, you could use your butterfly whisk. All right, just pop that on the bottom there, and your chicken on top, or your silver side, or whatnot, your steamed pork belly. There's so many beautiful recipes out there. And again, you will have that little bit of gap. You have that food elevated, and that goes in the dishwasher after anyway. If you don't want to do that, or your butterfly whisk is preoccupied with something else, how about these ones? These are egg rings. They're completely useless for baking eggs, if you ask me, but they're great to elevate your food in your Varoma. Just pop them in here, and again, you can see you have an easy option to elevate your food there. If you don't have egg rings, and that's fine because they're completely useless other than elevating your food, you might have a set of 2 spare forks, and you could also just pop them here, crisscross them on the bottom of your dish, and then pop the food on top. All right, you make sense? And it's basically anything that you can find in your kitchen can go in the bottom of the dish there, just to make sure you raise it up a little bit so it doesn't block the holes. Thinking chopsticks and whatnot, really, you get the idea. So that's the steaming part. So why steaming at all? Steaming, as you probably have heard, is the most healthiest way to prepare your food. And the reason for that is that your food, well, it'll keep the color, and because nothing gets touched when it steams, all right? It's just a gentle steam coming through, but no blades, no spoon, nothing will be stirred or so the food stays together and in itself. And what happens when we steam with the Varoma is that the juices, the dripping, go back into the bowl, and we will catch all the vitamins from the cooking juices, and they will flavor our sauce or our rice or whatever cooking underneath at the same time. So that's really something you want to look into, starting steaming your food if you don't do it by now. All right, sometimes I hear from people saying, well, yeah, it's fine, but it's so hard to clean after. So I'm hearing you. I'm all about the ease. So here's a couple of tips on how to clean your Varoma when you have steamed your food in it. Actually, it begins a little bit beforehand to avoid that it becomes too dirty. And actually what really dirty means is that if you steam your proteins here, for example, in the tray or in the bottom, doesn't matter, you will have these little white bits, and they just stick inside the holes there. So here's your thermal brush. If you don't like the green plastic one, we do also have the eco brushes now. I love them, and they will help you cleaning the holes. As you can see, the brush, they go completely through. So that's an easy option there. My favorite option is just to chuck it in the dishwasher because, yes, again, the Varoma is also dishwasher safe. Yay! Another great tip is using the Varoma sheets. They come in 2 different ways. So these are the ones, they have holes in it, all right? So that's just to release more steam that can go through, but they come also completely closed. So you can use those to steam an omelette, for example. So that doesn't vanish then through the little holes there. Beauty is they're already pre-cut, and they fit completely into the tray, and then after you finish your cooking, you can just take them out, and the cleaning of the Varoma dish is absolutely a breeze. Right, so they were the cleaning tips for my Varoma. Right, talking about the tray, the sheets, I showed you that. Right, so why else would you like to use the Varoma, I think? basically to, well, a couple of reasons, but basically to widen your cooking repertoire. So let's say you're cooking for large families, 4 plus, let's say 4 to 6 is average. Then you will love to use the Varoma because that just increases the volume of your cooking dishes by 3.3 litre. And they're very useful also to save time. And if you are after some recipes for that, you would be interested in the so-called all-in-one recipes. And what happens is that you use the simmering basket. We had that one yesterday, sitting here inside the bowl, steaming rice, potatoes, any sort of vegetables, even rice plus eggs, for example, and then have another 2 layers of cooking in your Varoma there on top. So look out for steaming with Varoma tags on Cookie Do, or cooking for many, or multi-level cooking. These are the tags that you can find recipes on Cookie Do for that. There is did I already say that? I don't know. I can't remember. There's one recipe in particular that is called meal prep, and it shows you how to cook or steam a salmon, chicken, and cook eggs all at the same time. So that's a fantastic pre-prep recipe, for example, also for lunch boxes, because you can make so much out of that, and just chuck it all in there and get it done in one go, and you can make 3 meals out of that. So real time saver there as well for you. Right, so what else can we do with the Varoma? Well, apart from the obvious, you're going traveling with your Thermomix, and a lot of people, as you know, do that these days during summer. In your motorhome, in your caravan, you don't need an extra colander. This is the right one. You can use that one to sieve through your cooked pasta, for example. So again, multiple functions, and you can also just use it, have a plate on the bottom so the drippings don't go through. But you could also actually serve in your non-fried rice, another great recipe that feeds the crowd, and just serve it straight in the Varoma dish here. As you can see already, it's really, really versatile. All right, so what else can we do with it? We can, almost forgot about that. So when I speak of widening your cooking repertoire, have you ever thought about steaming your cakes or steaming your bread? Yes, you can. There's recipes on Cookie Do. And what we've learned from Matt Sinclair, one of the MasterChef cooks, he has made a collection especially for Thermomix, and one of his recipes in there, I think it's sticky date pudding, and he steams the muffins or the puddings in the Varoma, and he swears by steaming instead of baking. Actually says steaming is the new baking, because the food or the muffins, they just stay beautiful moist when you prepare them for the lunch boxes, so they don't fall apart, they're not crumbling when you bite in a day after. So just food for thought in case you want to try something new and give the steaming a go. So these 2 forms, they're silicone mats. You can use them for baking muffins if you want to, but they're designed to fit into your Varoma. So there's a round one that goes in the bottom here, and there's a rectangular shaped one, and that completely fits in the top one. And there you go. Pop that all in here. Bob's your uncle. Steamed muffins or sticky date puddings or whatnot. There's plenty of ideas out there on Cookie Do on how to steam your otherwise baked goods. And another one of my favorite, that's another tray that also fits beautifully into the tray. So I mostly use this to steam my fish, so I can have a little bit of oil. I have my salmon fillets in there. I put all my seasoning, maybe lemon zest or a dill or whatever you want, and then I can steam it in here. And the beauty again is for the cleaning that I can take the whole tray out and no drippings will go through. And that's also a great tool if you have the fish there on top and you can steam the chicken on the bottom so it doesn't cross-contaminate in the layers going through. Again, that is something you might be of interest for you. So what else can we do with our Varoma? We can use it to prove our dough. So on a cold day like today, you need a warm spot in the house, no sun shining, you don't want to turn on the heater, but you need a warm space. So I've made a YouTube video about that, and I'm happy to pop the link on below this video here today, where I just show just very quickly. You make your dough, you roll it up in the silicone mat, and you pop the whole silicone mat with the dough onto your in your Varoma tray, and just leave it on fermentation mode about 40 degrees for an hour or two, depending on how long you want to have it proved. You can do a slow proof as well. Then have that sitting in there, and you'll see from the little video from the results, this is a beautiful, constantly warm place, not too hot, so it really does activate the yeast and give you beautiful results. Speaking of fermenting, another very popular way to use your Varoma is to make your own yogurt. And for the yogurt, we have this 2.2 litre thermoserver, also known as the white thermoserver. That is actually, it's a normal thermoserver, right? Just without the tray, and it's white, and it can't go in the dishwasher. So just be careful, otherwise the white color will come off. Has the same lid, it's sort of see-through, but that one fits completely inside the Varoma, as you can see, and there's still enough room to put the lid on top. So there's a recipe available for that, how to ferment your yogurt overnight using the Varoma method. So you can either have that in the large white thermoserver, or you can use individual yogurt jars, and they're a little bit smaller, so you can make individual pot set yogurts there at the same time. All right, so the whole set of 8 will fit in there for the fermentation there. Beauty here is you can take, so if you, like us, our family, we go through a lot of yogurt. So this, you can make basically 2 litres or 2 kilos of yogurt in one go, and you don't have to transfer it over because we eat a lot. This will not do the trick. Whoops. This is life. So this will not do the trick for one. So we probably would have to eat 2 of that every day. But we like to prefer like a smoothie bowl or so. So we need a little bit more. So beauty is you can just take it out and have it in the fridge and store it right in here without having to transfer it into another container or the like. Before you actually ferment your little pot set yogurt jars, you can also sterilize them. And not only them, you can sterilize all other containers and jars that you're using for your cooking. Speaking of vegetable stock paste, for example, or your mayonnaise jars, your pestos, whatever you make, you want to make sure the glasses are sterilized beforehand. So all you need to do is just lay them in there or stay them in there with the lids included, and steam them on Varoma temperature for about 20 minutes or so, and then you can fill them straight after without having to have the fear that your glasses are still dirty or will contaminate your food. The same applies for baby bottles, for example, or anything that needs to be sterilized. Even your face mask, after you've washed them and you still want to sterilize them, you can also sterilize your face mask in the Varoma absolutely safely. Not that you have to, but just a food for thought if you're looking for anything else to do. All right, so these were basically my extra tips and tricks for the Varoma, not only steaming, but also to do a couple of other things with it. If you are curious about beautiful Varoma recipes, I can recommend you this collection. It's available on Cookie Do. It's also available as a book, as you can see. And that has basically all the recipes in here using the Varoma. And one of them is what I really like. That is, it's called, hang on, it's the Caribbean stew and steamed rice cups. So because we get that quite often, can you also steam or cook rice in the Varoma? Well, the answer is yes, you can. So again, I'll show you that in that little picture here. Here's the recipe. So they're using little cups where they put the rice in with together with the water. So you need to steam the rice in a cup in the water, but you could also do that in one of these molds here and steam individual portions that you can then just take out and decorate that beautifully straight onto your dish. And again, I'm referring back to our basic cookbook into the resource section, which starts straight after the hot chocolate. Here it is again. And you will find extra tips and tricks for steaming in this chapter here. If you don't want to cook a whole recipe, if you don't want to follow a recipe, if you just want to steam something, or if you just want to start exploring steaming fruit and vegetables, for example, fish or your meats, whatever, right? It's all in here, and it will tell you exactly the time, temperature, speed, all the settings. All you need to do is put that manually on your machine because they are not guided. Okay, so on Cookie Do, you can search via collections, and I've checked. There are 7 English spoken collections available around the world. So when you search via collections, remember you can't search via language, so you have to select a country. So I selected Australia, US, and the UK, and there were 7 collections, all with beautiful recipes using the Varoma. You might want to explore that. And if you stay on the recipe side, then just try this in the search field, a couple of different tags. So I said already Varoma, steaming with Varoma is a tag, cooking for many, weeknight is also a good one, time saving is a good one, and multi-level cooking. Okay, so I hope you are now very excited to get that Varoma onto your Thermomix and make it happen. I will see you again tomorrow for my next Life at 5. Oh my God, and what was the topic? I completely forgot. All right. Again, I hope I see you again tomorrow for my next Life at 5, where we will talk about another attachment that comes with your Thermomix. All right, bye for now.